This is a test. This is a test of the Acoustic Homestead Project. This is only a test.
It took me a little while to pick up the guitar, but after I started picking up the guitar and learning that, that's when I realized that I want to make my own music.
And what it takes is dedication and hard work.
Whether you're listening or playing, somebody can relate to something, and yeah, it's a feel good thing for sure.
Hello and welcome to the AHB's Studio Podcast. In this episode, I'll be speaking with local musician and friend Billy Watkins, the lead and alternate guitarist, as well as lead and alternate vocalist for the Steelville band Alex Riffle and the Stiff Riffs. So let's get right into this interview. Hello, Billy.
Hey, Richard, how you doing? Glad to be soaking up this warm sunshine this morning.
Yes, it is a beautiful day again out here in the Peaceful Bend Winery in Steelville, Missouri. I'm hoping that I can get some information on how you got started into music, what were some early inspirations in your life, and who influenced you, what kept you going.
I'm an open book.
Right on.
You want me to answer that question in order there?
All the way.
Okay. I grew up in a musical family, always had music available, had relatives on both sides of my family that played music, a lot of country, bluegrass, old-timey, gospel, and those were my early exposure to music, and family gatherings where there was always plenty of music and food, and when I was about a sophomore in high school, of course, between early on and high school, my music styles really changed. So I was exposed to a lot of different types of music, and to this day, I try to have an open mind on anything coming down the road on if it's related to music. So when I was about a sophomore in high school, I decided I'm going to play the guitar. So I had a friend who had a guitar, and he showed me some chords. And from that point on, I was mostly self-taught by ear, and I had a good ear for the music, and like I was playing a year. For a year, I still didn't know the names of the strings, but I could play songs. And so I just kept at that, and I would play with family members and pick their brain and learned a lot like that. And I've learned how to read music several times, but it's just faster for me to hear it and play it. And to this day, someone will say, "Oh, wow, what chord is that?" And I go, "I have no idea. I have no idea, but it sounds right." And so I just figured that out, and so that's here I am today doing the same thing, and it's working for me. It has worked for me for the last 50 years. So,
Well, that's pretty awesome. What were you in any kind of like garage bands in high school or anything like that?
no, I wasn't. I was just doing a lot of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young songs and stuff like that. I'd buy a book with the lyrics, and it had the chords to the songs in that. And the great thing about that, I already knew how the songs were supposed to sound, so that was not a mystery, you know. So I could tell if I was doing it correctly or not.
Right.
And so, skip ahead out of high school, I went to the Navy and took a guitar with me and continued playing. Got out of the Navy and started jamming with people locally and started getting into bluegrass more because it was in the mid 70s. It was really going strong, and so went away to college at Cape Girardeau and met a ton of people playing music, and met some guys that were great pickers, and so we decided to start a bluegrass band, and that band was called the Stringtown String Band. And we did that for at least 28 years and did a couple albums, and we played on the bluegrass circuit every summer and played bars in the winter. And in 1982, we got hired at Silver Dollar City and played summer there. So that's like 5 days a week, plus we had contractual obligations at festivals on the weekends. So we were playing about 7 days a week, and
Oh, wow.
it was great, and it was a great learning experience, and you just keep honing your craft. And so after that, we continued. People got jobs and families in the meantime, and trying to balance that. And so we all still played, but not as much. And so I guess about 15 years ago, one of the members left. And so we got this young kid that was eager to play. He was starting on the banjo. He was 14. His name was Alex Riffle, and he soaked it up like a sponge. It was crazy. And so we thought, well, let's continue playing, but we have two attorneys in the band, and they said, hey, we probably ought to change the name. So we agreed to do that, and as a joke, we said, hey, let's call it the Alex Riffle Band, because he's 14. And then we said, well, we still need to be involved in the name. So we said, since his name is Riffle, we said Alex Riffle and the Stiff Riffs as a joke. It was all a joke, and we're having a great time, and nobody's in charge, and that's why we've been together so long. So we continued as Alex Riffle and the Stiff Riffs, and now Alex is 32. So he's been in the band quite a while, and he took the job serious as a kid. So we just went with that. Yeah, you can be in charge. Now, get us booked over here, and he would do it. And then at some festivals back in the day, you had to track down the promoter to get paid. We just send Alex, hey, you better go get our pay, Alex. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of work, and we're still playing to this day. And it's great, but we live quite far away from each other. And so latter part of 1981, no, sorry, not 81, 2021, I'd been coming to some open mics at Peaceful Bend. I'm a retired teacher, by the way, so taught in Sullivan, retired. We're still in the area. And so came out to Peaceful Bend and discovered a cache of local musicians in this area. It's a hot pocket here.
Yes, it is.
As you know, I met you, and I mean, I meet someone new every time I come out here for the open mic. I'm the host of the open mic once a month, and I just scratch my head and I go, where have all these people been?
Yeah.
And so I met a guy named Chris Case, and in 2021, the Stiff Riffs weren't real active. So I needed to satisfy my playing itch, and so I got with Chris Case, and we had a common bond. We like the Byrds. We like rock and roll. We love old time. We love bluegrass. We love all types of music. And I told him, I said, why don't we get a little side gig going? And I always get pegged as a bluegrass guy, but I'm very eclectic, and I never get a chance to play other genres of music. So we woodshedded a little bit, and we said, "Hey, let's start playing out." And we've been doing that since 2021, and local gigs mostly. And I don't have to travel much, which is awesome because there's plenty in the area. Not to say we wouldn't travel, but I stay as busy as I want to or as busy as I don't want to.
Right.
And it has really gelled together because Chris lives like 5 minutes away from me. And so usually Sunday mornings, I'll be over at his house about 7 a.m. having a little jam. And we don't intentionally sit down and work up stuff to perfection. We just play songs we like, and we go with that. So, and currently that's what we're doing. And so I'm still playing with the stiff riffs. We probably do maybe 6, 7 gigs a year. And it's great because we have a good following throughout the years that we've been playing. And people have been real generous to us, and it's fun. And that's my premise to keep going. If it's not fun, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
But guess what? I'm still doing it, so I'm having a good time.
That's wonderful.
So
I'm glad that you're still doing it because my first time coming here and meeting you, it's a big reason as to why I'm doing this podcast in the first place. We're like a little version of Nashville, but we're stuck in this little hole in the ground, and we don't have an outlet.
it's a pocket.
Yeah. And there's so many amazing musicians.
Yeah. And I want to tell you, Richard, the first time I met you, you inspired me. As many of these musicians that come to the open mic, I'm inspired by them. I'm like, dang, I like what he does, and he's unpretentious, and my ethos, he's having a good time. So keep doing what you're doing.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
And it's a big reason as to why I even, I'm a big proponent of making good connections with people that are on the same, on the same, not necessarily on the same path as me, but when you have the ambition.
In the orbit. You're in the same orbit.
Yeah. When you have a passion that's similar, like the music thing, the music brings everybody together.
It's amazing.
It is.
And you just have to keep an open mind. And so everybody, I feel, has something to offer, so you have to give them a chance because people gave me a chance, and I know you're going to give people a chance. You're doing this podcast, which my hat is off to you. That's a big undertaking, and I'm glad there's something available like this. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate it. My a big reason that I'm doing it is really just to make better connections with people like you and a lot of the other musicians that I've seen here and at other places like Frisco's and the Main Deck. And there's so many musicians, and I'm really hoping that I can get them all to take time to sit with me and just tell me their story.
Well, my story's not finished. It's still going.
That's right. That's right.
I turned 70 in last August, and I'm like, okay, I'm still good. I'm still good, so I'm still going to do it, and because I'm still having fun.
Right.
So, like I said, I've been in this area for the last 35 years, and I still meet new people every day, and I'm like, where are these people coming from? You know, some people move in, some people move back. This is their home area, and yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think the hotbed of talent here has always been here.
Right. I mean, like people like you and Tim Bond and others that have been in the music world for over half their lives.
Yeah.
And I never heard of you until I met you. You know,
And that's not a bad thing.
it's not. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's an interesting.
Hey, Richard, better late than never.
Right. It's just an interesting thing because
Yeah.
I feel like, man, how's nobody been talking about you? And it's just like I have younger friends that are the same way. They're like, you know, I play my music, but I just kind of keep it to myself.
Well, and I'm glad you said that, because I don't know, am I being selfish? Because I'm doing it because it makes me feel good, and it's how I deal with things too. I'm not a songwriter per se. I'm a reluctant songwriter. I've written some. You're raising your hand?
Yeah, personally,
And people say, well, why don't you write more songs? And I go, well, let me tell you, there's too many good songs out there that I haven't learned. And I mean, really good ones. And so that's mainly what I do for my own enjoyment. And you know what? There are people who have said, hey, that makes me feel good. And so, you know what? I have to go with that. If I can do what I like and someone else benefits from it, yay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a big cover artist mostly.
Yeah.
I don't really like most of the songs that I've written, to be honest, but I can really appreciate the music and the artists.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, that's what I am as a musician.
Well, my inspirations and influences on me playing guitar, of course, you know, you have Jimi Hendrix and Pete Townsend. But when I started playing, I listened to a lot of Doc Watson, Clarence White, and my number one all-time go-to, Norman Blake. And those guys really spoke to me on their style of music and their flat picking. And I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm pretty sure I can do this. Well, as you know, to become proficient in anything, you have to put the work in on it. But I would always surprise myself, just like when I was learning the guitar. I'd surprise myself, and that's what kept me motivated. And today, I'm still learning. I learn every day. Before I came over here, I sat on the porch, was picking some tunes and just enjoying the sunlight. And so that's my motivation. It's very simple. It's very simple to me, and it doesn't take much to keep me happy.
right.
So
Yeah, music is a big medicine for me.
yeah, me too. And I think a lot of people, whether you're listening or playing, somebody can relate to something. And yeah, it's a feel-good thing for sure. So
I agree. Well, Billy, it's been great talking to you, and I really, really appreciate you coming out here to the beautiful Peaceful Bend to sit with me.
and I appreciate you inviting me and doing this. Can you tell me how I can listen to this podcast when it gets up and running?
Okay, so we will be launching the podcast on Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube. And the Spotify is a big maybe because I have to get into the, the Spotify for producers type of thing.
Oh, okay.
So this section of the podcast is subject to become reality.
Okay, good.
But it will be on YouTube as long as they don't deny me of anything. I'm not going to be putting music clips that will get me like cut off. If I do anything musical, it'll probably be mostly covers or original songs by the
Gotcha.
artist I'm interviewing. That way, I have full rights to do so.
Gotcha. Well, good luck on this endeavor, and my hat is off to you for launching this podcast, because it's needed, and I think you'll get a lot of participation, and
I think so too.
from audiences, and I think you told me you hope to expand the perimeter of the farther out Ozarks.
Yes, maybe not just the Ozarks of Missouri, but the Ozarks of the Midwest of the United States.
Okay, great.
Eventually. That's a pipe dream, all right? All right, guys, this has been Billy Watkins on the AHP Studio Podcast. I had a really good time hanging out with Billy today, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the conversations that we were able to have. Thank you for listening, and stay in the loop.